Welcome back to the Cultural Curriculum Chat podcast and Mrs. Edmonds Cultural Corner. My name is Jeba Edmonds, and if you are new here to my show, I share all things multicultural educational resources as well as inclusive workplace strategies. And one of my favorite things I love to do on my show is to review books. I am a huge fan of the cultural icon, Tabitha Brown. She has a wonderful empire of household goods as well as culinary arts and gifts. And one of her books, she's a New York Times best-selling author of Feeding the Soul. And I came across at the bookstore a few weeks back her book, Cooking from the Spirit, Easy, Delicious, and Joyful Plant-Based Inspirations. Now, if you're not aware of Tabitha Brown, she is a vegan influencer. She said she had a life-changing event with the help of her vegan lifestyle. It really did improve her health and her overall well-being. Now, disclaimer, I am not vegan. I do love all foods, but I really enjoy making new recipes every Sunday. And also, I'm not the best baker. I know my kids can attest to that. Sometimes my cookies come from the sleeve. Yep, don't hate, don't judge. But I really loved something that is light and something kind of like a pie based. I love pie, and this one is a kind of a twist of a pie, but it's her Lazy Peach Cobbler. And it just sounds like something fun for the summer. And I really love this because in her book, it's on page 163 in her cookbook, but she talks about how baking isn't her ministry. And I'm right there. Baking is not in my ministry. I'm right with you there, Tab. So here's what the picture is supposed to look like. We're gonna put it to the test today, folks. And so the ingredients call for coconut or avocado oil to spray the pan, which I did, 1 cup of self-rising flour, half a cup of sugar, a pinch of ground cinnamon, and I'm not a cinnamon fan, so I'm just going to tweak it, and I'm gonna use nutmeg. I love nutmeg. 1 7.4 ounce can of condensed coconut milk, 1 stick of vegan butter melted, which I have taken care of already. And then 1 29 ounce can of sliced peaches in heavy syrup. And then 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. What I love about this cookbook that Tabitha had created. It has several categories for breakfast and brunch. She has things for on the go, pizzas. She's got a lot of things that she puts in a new spin, like cheeseburgers, but with a vegan twist. She also has salads and smoothies and sweet things. And even like a different kick on potato salad and Mexican street corn. So there's so many cool menu items that you can create at home, very easy. And what I also really enjoyed about Tab's cookbook is she kind of lets you take on the measurements yourself. She even tells you about if you're doing salted seasonings, to make sure to do less is more, because you can't take the seasoning out if you put too much in. So I really love that tip. Another thing, what I want to try, and maybe I will in an upcoming episode, is Mama's meatloaf, something for comfort food that we're going to try. So if you are new to this channel, don't forget to share this episode with a friend who loves new book ideas and new book inspirations. I have over 100 episodes all about literacy and books, and this could be one of them that you can try. So let's get to it. Lazy Peach Cobbler. I preheated my oven at 350, and in the bowl it says to whisk together the flour, sugar, and nutmeg. So I'm gonna do that first. Always do the dry ingredients first, folks. So I've got my flour and my sugar, and I'm going to do a dash of my nutmeg. And what else does it say? You're going to whisk together the flour, sugar, and the cinnamon. Now, another thing that you might not know about me, I like to get things done quickly, and that's when I tend to have a lot of mistakes. So we're not gonna do that today, because all of you watching me make this thing. So let's see what happens. So I did all of that. Next up, we are going to add the condensed coconut milk. And it says, use a spoon to stir until there are no more bits of flour that is visible. Okay, so we're gonna add the condensed milk. And mind you, I live in northern Minnesota, so I had to go to like 2 different grocery stores. And then I called my sister-in-law, shout out to you, Missy, and she suggested to find this condensed coconut milk at our Whole Foods Co-op. So that was a big help. So I'm gonna put it all in here. Okay. So I'm gonna get my big spoon. Okay, so this part, you're trying to get all of the bits together to make the dough. And it's starting to come together to look, it's starting to clump and solidify a little bit. Let's see, it's starting to get that doughy substance. It's starting to get harder. She even says in the book that it's gonna be a workout for your upper arm, and woo, I can feel it. Wow, I made myself some dough, y'all. Okay, next we are going to pour the melted butter into the prepared pie plate. Make sure the butter covers the bottom. She asked for a deep pie dish. I'm gonna pour it in my Corelle dish here. I'm giving you the play-by-play for my podcast listeners. And then next, we're gonna transfer the dough to the plate. And then she says you can spread it out a little, but don't worry about it if you don't feel like it. She says the oven is gonna do most of the work, because remember, this is a self-rising flour. So I'm gonna pour the dough. I guess when they call it the Lazy Peach Cobbler, you can be lazy. And you know what? It's Sunday, so that's another excuse to be lazy this Sunday. Get ready for the work week. While I'm getting this prepped, you can just feel it. It is kind of gooey. Okay, next up, I've got the dough into the pan. And let's see, it says we transferred the dough to the pie plate. Now we're gonna pour the peaches with the syrup on top of the dough, and then we're gonna pour the vanilla on top, and then add a little bit more of the nutmeg or the cinnamon. So I'm going to pour my peaches on the top like so. Okay, and then she asked for a teaspoon of the pure vanilla extract, so I'm gonna do that. Now, what I like about this recipe, I know we'll see when it turns out, but what I like about this recipe, friends, is it's something so simple that you can do. You can do this with your kids. You could do this just by yourself to impress some friends if, you know, you're trying to bring something over to a gathering. So I'm gonna pour my teaspoon of pure vanilla extract like so, and then I'm gonna add some of my nutmeg. She does say cinnamon in her recipe, but like I said earlier, I love me some nutmeg, and she said you can put as much on it as you want. Another thing, we're gonna bake this into the oven for 50 minutes to an hour. She says that you can use a sheet pan to kind of catch the extra drippings into the oven underneath if that helps to prevent extra burning. So I'm gonna put this in the oven for 50 minutes to an hour, and then we're gonna get back to it and have the results and see how it turns out. So stay tuned. All right, we are back. It's been about an hour. I checked at about 50 minutes and I'm like, it needs more time to caramelize and get browned. So here we go, the Lazy Peach Cobbler. So yes, I tell you, let's see. It looks good on the outside. I'm gonna get myself a slice. Now with peach cobbler, traditionally, it can be pretty sloppy, so it's not gonna be perfect. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a big spoon. And it is piping hot. You can smell the nutmeg and peach right from the oven. Give it a little taste. Ooh, it's still so hot. You can see the steam. Small taste. Not bad. I think what I'll do is I'll add some whipped cream, and I got my easy peasy dessert. The ingredients were easy to get, except that condensed coconut milk. I like condensed milk when I'm baking other things, but that condensed coconut milk was really hard to find. But I would definitely go to a Whole Foods organic store for that ingredient in particular. So I can't wait to do more episodes, and maybe this might be a monthly thing. Let's be honest, a quarterly thing. Finding a new recipe from an author of a diverse cultural background to share with you all. So this was from the book Cooking from the Spirit, Easy, Delicious, and Joyful Plant-Based Inspirations by New York Times bestseller Tabitha Brown. To be honest, it was easy. It is delicious. I'm just letting it cool down a little bit. And I highly recommend you getting this book. She has a lot of stories in here as well, and I just love her style. She doesn't code switch, and if you don't know what code switching means, check out my previous episode about Code Switching 101. She really is the epitome of sharing her full authentic self with food, and now I just found out that she created a new air fryer that is on sale that you can purchase. So this and more, I know Tabitha is going to do even more things. I feel like she's getting started, honey. So that's all that I have for you today. Be sure to share this episode with a friend who loves to hear a new recipe and find a new book that is easy and fun and you can do with your family. That's all I have for you today. Be sure to stop by next week when we have more fun things on Mrs. Edmonds' Cultural Corner and the Cultural Curriculum Chat podcast. Take care. Bye-bye.